Hey guys, I just worked half of the shift and I'm getting ready to head to a supercharger. But before I do that, I want to show you my little trick that I use to save money on charging. As you can see right now, it is 11:59 p.m. But watch what happens once it does go to 12 a.m. Just 1 minute will make a difference. You're gonna get a discount. So before I do that, let me just select like what's the cheapest, well, what's the closest, 11 miles away. Let's just look at that one.
Now turn right onto Winbrook Way.
Actually, no, we don't want to do that. I did it the wrong way. Oh yeah, look at that. It just updated. You see how everything is a different price? What I really meant to do is do this, and this will show you that between 4 a.m. and 11 a.m. it's 18 cents, but between 12 a.m. and 4 a.m. it's 10 cents. So I'm going to talk a little bit more on that later, but right now I'm going to start driving to that destination. So anyways guys, I'm headed to the Tesla supercharger and I'm hoping to charge it at 10 cents a kilowatt hour, which previously was 37 cents a kilowatt hour, and I've just showed you why that is. But with that being said, I want to talk a little bit more about driving a Tesla for Uber. And in this video I want to specifically take a look at how much time have I drove before my first time that I need to charge. So right now I'm kind of like mid shift, and being that I'm mid shift, let me just turn this sound off completely. I mean, I already have it like turned way down, but I'm gonna turn it off completely. Okay, just turn the sound off because I'm following a Tesla supercharger. But anyways, as I said, I'm mid shift. But since I'm headed to a charging station, supercharger, I want to first tell you a very, very important step. You can't just simply go to a supercharger following your Google GPS on your phone. That's not the way to go about it. You need to use Tesla's screen to navigate to charging stations, to then choose your charging place. And you need to, once you pick which one you want to get charged at, and take a look at the pricing and what they have to offer, choose the proper location for yourself. You need to then use that GPS to get there, because if you actually use the Tesla GPS to get there, it will preheat the batteries, which in turn will speed up the charging process so that you don't have to wait at a charger for a very long time. So if you don't do that, then the battery's gonna be cold and you're gonna come there and it's gonna charge a lot slower. So that's like also like another secret. If you never had a Tesla before, if you never owned one, if you never rented one, and you want to charge quickly, that is definitely the way to do it. Now if you own it, then you already know that that is the fact. That's what you gotta do. Now all the Tesla superchargers are different. So there's some that's like 250 kilowatt max chargers. There's some that are 150 kilowatt max charge. That will also impact how fast you actually charge your Tesla. So choose wisely. Sometimes maybe one is cheaper than the other, but sometimes maybe the 250 kilowatt one, it's actually better and cheaper. So you might want to do that. So right now I'm headed to a Tesla supercharger. I was like, well, it showed it to me incorrectly. It said I was like 5 miles away, but realistically I was more like 11 miles away. I still got like 8 miles left. Now with that being said, me being mid shift, and by the way guys, we will use autopilot so that we're gonna pay attention, and like none of this stuff is gonna really impact me driving. So take a look at my screen. You could see that I've made $112 today. that is kind of like my mid shift. Okay, let's take a look at how long did I actually work. I worked 6 hours and 27 minutes. So this means that I worked slightly above 6 hours, which is great. So I need to work an additional 6 hours, which in this case would be like 5 hours and 30 minutes. Then I complete my shift. So what my point is this: I installed a Tesla supercharger, well, not Tesla supercharger, excuse me, a Tesla charging station at home that will charge my Tesla at 21 miles per hour, and my plan is to use that at the end of my shift and have a full charge when I actually get ready to use the Tesla next day. So that's gonna be perfect. I will come home, plug it up, and then just, you know, go to sleep or whatever, and I'll have a fully charged battery. Then I'll be able to do exactly what I did today, and my mid shift is going to look very, very similar, maybe with some slight variation in the time difference, depending on when I actually go to work. So my schedule right now, it's going to be from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. So if I charge at home, you know, I'm saving money, obviously. So my goal is to work till about 12 a.m. and head to a Tesla supercharger, or work till maybe 1 a.m. but sometime between 1 and 4 a.m. because that is the cheapest Tesla supercharger that you could actually get at that point, at least in my area. So with that being said, that will save me lots of money. And another important thing to mention, it means I only have to go to the Tesla supercharger one time, charge it up fully, and complete my shift. Now, with that being said, excuse me for repeating myself, right? Previously, when I would rent a Tesla, I would charge my Tesla at a supercharger at the beginning of the shift, middle of the shift, at the end of the shift, because I actually got to commute 1 hour home. So anywhere, depending on where I end up in Charlotte, anywhere from 60 to 37 miles, I gotta go home. So that means when my morning shift is up, I'm usually running on fumes when it comes to how much charge the battery actually has left. And that means I gotta head to a supercharger because I'm thinking well, I gotta drive home 60 miles. Then I gotta drive back 60 miles, let's say, to that same charging station, just so then I could charge it up again in the morning and start working, which is insanity kind of, because that's a lot of time wasting due to charging. So hopefully this time with my home charger, I could just look at my Tesla and I could say, okay, well, I got 60 miles till I run the charge. Okay, so maybe on the way home, because I do have a charging station on the way home, which is, convenient. Maybe I'll just pop it in the charger for about just 5 to 10 minutes just to give me some extra juice, right? Because I don't want to get home on empty, right? Or I could say, well, from that specific location, I'm 37 miles away from home, and if I got 60, I could safely drive home, and I can go ahead and plug it up to the charger, and then I'll be all set. It's gonna charge it up for me. I hope that made sense, guys. So that is kind of the idea this time. So hopefully this time it actually makes sense to drive a Tesla versus, let's say, some other gasoline type of car. Because as you've seen when I was before I rented a Tesla, the pricing on other cars is very similar to Tesla price. It's basically kind of okay, just choose what you want at that point. The reason I actually still prefer a Tesla versus, let's say, some other car like a Pulsar or whatever, just because I already know that I could head to Tesla superchargers, charge it up very quickly, and go. And I heard that with other chargers for the electric cars, because the competition is so high, there's a lot of makes and models. Now everybody's using those chargers, and now you got to wait in line to even use it. So that becomes very complicated. So then how can you use another electric type of car if you got to wait till somebody else finishes using that specific charging station? Even if it's fast, you got to wait. So I guess the only way to go about it is, again, have a charging station at home, something that's decent. And I will share that charging station in a different video. I just set everything up myself, so I'll make a video. Let me know what you think, but I'm going to be experiencing it for the first time. So right now I still haven't charged at home, so we will see how much charge I will get. I will time everything, and I will share with you guys exactly how long it takes for me to charge it, because I might think one thing, but it's totally different thing, if you know what I mean. Well, anyways, moving on. I'm 1 mile away from my Tesla supercharger, and I'm thinking, did I miss anything when it comes to charging? Okay, let's get back to the money situation. You could see I worked 6 hours and 27 minutes, and I made $112 per total. Earlier I've made a video, and it was a video for me only working 4 hours, and I was making basically, well, I made $60 in 4 hours. So that's equivalent to $15 per hour, which is just gross. That's not net. And that is very concerning, because that's not a lot of money to go on. That's just terrible. So hopefully this time it's going to be a little bit different. Like, it's going to be a little bit better. I could already tell that it's going to be a little bit better, but I'm not sure what's it going to be, because I haven't done the math yet. Maybe you have already, but I got just a couple more churns I got to do before I could actually take out the calculator and actually do that calculation. So 112.34. So 112.34 divided by 6.5. That gives me $17.28 per hour. Now the cost per hour for me to operate this Tesla is right around $7. Let's just say that, because that's going to be very close. According to my recent video and some of the calculations that I did, I'm not going to try to go back to them. A lot of it is obviously, it's just basic math, and you calculate and then you figure out like what's it really, costing you. But what I will do is record a whole video just on the price of charging for the whole day as a whole, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till the car's fully charged, and I will tell you the price of me charging a Tesla. Just keep in mind, I'm charging at 10 cents per kilowatt hour. So that means it's going to cost me maybe 4 times less than it is in your area. Previously, the same location, it used to be 43 cents a kilowatt hour. So you could think about this. It could be as much as 3 times more. So I'm very happy to see that it's only 10 cents. Now, I'm hoping that's really true, and the Tesla map is not lying to me. I really hope that is the fact. Now, I'm pulling up on the actual charging stations. Let me show you what I see. Here are some Teslas. When you come to a Tesla supercharger, what you want to do, guys, is never park next to other Teslas. Find a space the furthest away. Like, I'm going to use this corner away from the other people, because it slows down other people's charging, and they might be mad at you. Now, that might only be the case with 150 watt supercharger places. Maybe 250 watt is different, but you don't want to really get people mad and explain stuff to them, because people are not gonna really like that. One thing I want to note is I have 28 miles left over. I have 11% battery life. I want to show you the mileage, 19,000. And then I'll show you the mileage what it did have so that we could actually keep track of the miles. So let's exit out of that. Let's go ahead and plug it in. Okay, I'm out of the car, grabbing a Tesla charger. You gotta press this button. It lets goes. Bring it close to Tesla. Usually this door's supposed to open, and you could just simply plug it in. Wait till the light turns green, so it's connecting. Okay, started charging. Let's go inside and take a look at this. So what is this? So 40 minutes remaining, it says. It's now starting to calculate, so that's 4 cents, 5 cents. So it's starting to finally calculate that portion. This is different than a screen I used to have before, because there was a slider. Well, it's still here, but it looks a little different now. So you could slide how far you want to charge it. So obviously I want to charge this at 100%. One thing I do want to mention, if you do own your own Tesla, you don't want to charge it to 100% unless you go on like on a long trip. So with us doing Uber, we basically gonna use up the miles right away. So I'm gonna charge it up and start driving. So it's not gonna do much sitting. The reason you don't want to charge it all the way to 100%, because electrons, they don't have no place to go, and that ends up damaging your battery. So especially like if you're at home, you don't want to leave it on the charger too long. Just unplug it when it's done. Also, a bit of advice, if you're gonna be using your laundry connector from the dryer, like a dryer connector, you don't want to be running laundry at the same time you're charging your Tesla. So try to remember that, because that might trip your breaker. So you don't want to do that. So as you can see, I have 35 minutes remaining till a complete charge. Sometimes that's quite accurate. Other times I don't know, because sometimes I've seen it a little bit differently. What I will tell you is this. So right now it's charging 617 miles an hour. That will slow down quite a bit once we reach especially 50% of the charging. When it's done, it's gonna slow way down. That's just how these things work. I don't know why it slows down, but it does. It slows way down. I wish it really didn't. And another thing I do want to mention is that this particular car, I could charge it to 256 miles, which is good. This is just like a standard Tesla, like with a single motor. Previously I had dual motors, which was charging around like 350 miles. So that was considered like dual motor long range. But when I would get them, they would only charge till about like 300 to 315 miles. Because, and with the low miles vehicles, like similar to this, it means the battery is already a little bit damaged, and you lose that charging. So it's not necessarily something to worry about. It's not that it's like damage. It's just how it is. Like the battery just deteriorates somehow, and you're not able to get that additional 50 miles, which kind of sucks. So I'm very glad to see that I have 256 mile limit. That is definitely a good sign, because when I actually got this vehicle, it had 80% charge left. I did not, well, once I click on the miles, I was not actually recording, but I had about 200 miles left. So I pretty much used up, quite a bit of it. But I'll be able to actually do the calculation from the start miles and finish miles. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna eat something and then wait till it finishes charging, and we're gonna go on. Oh yeah, I did say that I want to get into this and show you guys about this a little bit more. So you could see that there's a supercharger that I like. This one is showing at 37 cents a kilowatt hour. For the Fort Mill location. You see how it's like 10, and oh my gosh, why am I doing that? I always hit it by mistake, because I'm actually looking at what I'm recording. But anyways, you want to hit at this thing right here. So now it's going to show you the prices. So you could see that little white line. That means that that's where you're kind of like you're at as far as the time goes. And from 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. it's 10 cents. But from 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. it's 18 cents. And during the day, somebody likes to work morning shift, 8 a.m. to 12 midnight. In that range, it's the most expensive, 37 cents a kilowatt hour. That's because it's the most busiest time. Lots of people charging their Teslas. And right now, it's nighttime. There's just like nobody here pretty much. Maybe another Uber driver. So we get to save. So working night shift in a Tesla, actually you could save by far the most amount of money. Whether or not you will earn the most amount, you know, that's something that we're gonna have to figure out. But still not happy with the earnings, because even currently it's only $10 an hour right now. So after I pay for the Tesla, so a little bit of a disappointment. But hopefully overall, if I do get some bonuses, some surges the weekend, if I put everything in, hopefully I will make at least $25 an hour. That would be nice. Then I could make, I guess, $18 clean profit, and that would be not bad. But in either case, I'm gonna share all the details with you guys. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and make some notes, and I'll get back to you guys. Got about 10 minutes left on the charger, guys. This is how I'm relaxing. All right, the charging is almost complete. I got 6 more miles left. Usually I already unplug and go ahead and get going. Very first thing I want to show you guys that it's got 19,009 miles. So the Tesla is almost done charging. So the limit is 256 miles. You could just hit it right here and it's going to show you how much percentage it basically charged. As you could see, it only cost me $4.91. At this point, it is safe to unplug. It's really not going to matter. And also, I wanted to show you this. You see how it's only charging 33, 34 miles per hour. So yeah, good time to unplug, which is what I'm going to do right now. And you just press this little button. It unlocks. Stick the charger back in there. The door already has closed. All right.